them there.
All right, a couple of reminders before we get started here. We're going to start with an opening statement from head coach Chris Holtmann, and then questions can be asked of the student athletes. At the conclusion, the student athletes will be dismissed, and then questions of the head coach can commence. If you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand and someone will bring you a microphone. Prior to asking your question, please give your name as well as your affiliation. If you have a follow-up question, please make sure you use the microphone. And one last reminder, no video of any kind is allowed during these press conferences. They'll be available later at the NCAA Digital Media Hub. With that, Coach, opening statement.
Yeah, credit to our players. They were, I thought, locked in on the game plan at a high level. Great respect for this Loyola program, this Loyola team, the job that obviously Porter and now Drew's doing. Terrific players, terrific system. We knew we were in for a rock fight, and that's very much what it was. But our guys deserve great credit. They really competed on both ends, and we were able to break away just when we needed to. Players win games, and those guys did a great job with that.
Questions for the student athletes? We'll start right here.
Stephen Means, Cleveland.com. Kyle, obviously, can you just talk about the struggles to try to get back on the court and get back for this tournament after missing last year's, but then also just rough estimate of how many times you ended up on the floor tonight?
Yeah, I spent this last week, just trying to get my conditioning back up a little bit. Having not, been out some of the previous games, which, for me in the past, that's just, it sucks to watch, watch these guys go to war and not be able to play with them. So, I just feel blessed to be able to be back on the floor and play with them. But, that's part of my game, getting on the floor. So, if that was going to help me impact the game, I had to do what I had to do tonight. So, yeah.
EJ, I know Loyola's probably not happy with the way they played offensively, but your defense deserves a lot of credit. Where did this defensive performance come from? Did you know that this was the way you guys could play all season, or are you even kind of surprised by how well you guys played on that end?
I'm not surprised. I feel like when we start out, first 4 minutes, that determines the game. We set the rules. And I feel like we came out here and did a great job on the defense end, great communication. And I feel like we played with an edge tonight. Play like the underdogs. We got to keep playing like that because people have been counting us out big time. So we're going to have that same mindset come next game.
Kyle, when did Coach referred to last week at the Big Ten tournament, some of the noises and some of those situations that you were back in the locker room watching? When did it become clear to you that you could play or you cleared the protocol?
It was a little bit around that time, maybe a few days after, but I made a big jump, just after waking up a few of those days, and I felt really good. And I was able to get through all the protocol, and I'm feeling really good, and the doctors cleared me. So, it was a tough process just getting back into the swing of things, in terms of conditioning, stuff like that. But it just feels amazing to be back out there with these guys and being able to play again.
Adam Jardy, Columbus Dispatch. Question for EJ. You talked yesterday about how you're a different team when you're healthy, and you thought people were going to see something different today. How big of an impact is a player like Kyle when it comes to that, and what does it feel like to be sitting up there now, having played the way you did and saying what you said yesterday?
Just having Kyle back is great, as well as it. I mean, I felt like everybody who stepped foot on the floor tonight was determined. They was ready. Had a mentality that, like, we can't be beat and we won't be beat. So I feel like if we keep that same mindset, we'll be good to go.
Steve Hellwagen, 24/7 Sports for Malachi. I want to ask you, first 10 minutes of this game, they were really bumping you and being very physical with you, and there were a couple turnovers that resulted out of that, but then you got into a flow and hit a couple shots and in some way kept your team in this game early, hitting a couple shots, 10 points first half. Just what did you have to do after that first 3 or 4 minutes of them jostling you to take that contact and overcome that?
Really just adjusting. I'll probably say just adjusting to the physicality. Coach Holtmann and the staff, they was like, they're a physical team. So, they was kind of blitzing the ball screen, so I kind of had to get used to that. But after I got adjusted, it was cool.
Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch. Coach called it a rock fight. When you go into a game and you know they're going to be physical, and those first 5 minutes were physical, does that help you play defense, knowing what you're getting into, and you've just got to bring it?
Malachi, you can start with that.
You said I can start with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you knew going in they were going to be that physical. Does that help you defensively to kind of even going into the game, ramp it up and match them?
Yeah, we was already like locked in on the defensive end. You knew they was a great team shooting the ball, so we just planned very good and we executed it.
Yeah, you know, for us, that's our mentality going into every game. We try to, hang our hat on being the more physical team, setting the rules. So, when you have a team coming in, that's going to do the same, trying to do the same thing, it's just that much more of a challenge. So, we love that type of a challenge, and we just have to respond. So it's just about who's going to play more physical and tougher and win 50-50 balls, things like that.
I just feel like we're a physical team as well, and we came out here. We have some seniors; they have an older group as well, and I didn't want our seniors to go home yet, so I did the best I could. Got on the floor a couple times, just giving all extra effort plays to go out there and win the game. So.
Bill Landis from The Athletic. Kyle, did you take any kind of moment before this game to just appreciate the fact that you were available and able to play after not being available last year? And I guess how did you maybe deal with the possibility that you could have missed out on another NCAA tournament with another late season injury?
100%. Just even putting on my jersey today, just taking a moment to reflect on it, because after the last time, when I was out recently, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to come back or not, and just being able to put the jersey on again today, meant a lot to me, and being able to go to war with these guys. So, definitely took a moment to reflect on it, and just be very appreciative of being able to be out there.
Hello, this is Okan with SportCal Media. Looks like your opponent came into the game allowing 61.3 point per game, and you guys did score 54. Do you think their defense is as good as it says? And looks like they score usually 73.8 point per game, but you guys did manage to give them only 41 today. What was the difference in your playmaking ability?
Go ahead, EJ.
Yeah, they played really good defense. They're a top 20 defense nationally, and I felt like they came out there and competed, and we did as well. So this is a great defense game, not a high scoring game, not a big highlight game, but I mean, we just had to make those extra effort plays on the defense end, and I felt like we did that tonight. So.
Last question for the student athletes.
EJ, Malachi, both of you guys spent portions of the game being guarded by Williamson. He's a guy who's obviously known for his defense. What was it like going up against him, and just what was working for both of you offensively?
Go ahead, EJ, you can start.
First half, he gave me a hassle. He poked my ball loose a couple times, and I mean, he was the defensive player of the year for a reason. He was a really good defender, uses his body well, and I mean, that's what they're known for. He leads their defense. He's the older guy of the group. So as he led their defense, everybody else followed. So he's a really good defender.
Yeah, like he said, he has active hands. So, when they was kind of blitzing, I was throwing in, and he was had his hands on the ball. So he's a very good defender. We just had to adjust, and which we did. So.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, just a reminder, if you have a question, please give your name and affiliation prior to asking your question. So go ahead. We'll start with questions for Coach Holtmann.
Hey, Chris. Colin Gay, Rivals. I'm curious, at what point, or did you see kind of a life defensively because of what Kyle Young was able to provide? It seemed like whether it was in the backcourt with Jamari, Malachi, it seemed like there was a little bit more life defensively.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it every game he's been out. It's versatility. Without Justice in particular, in Kyle, we lack versatility, and Gene's done a good job helping with that, but he just provides a bunch, so much on both ends, and a lot of it's versatility. I mean, been saying it, for really 2 years now. So it's evident in a game like this.
Jared Smalley, NBC in Columbus. Chris, about having Zed and Kyle, defensive versatility, very clear. Clearly, you're a different defensive team with them. Yeah. But more than that, psychologically, emotionally, when you get in the locker room, they're available. Did you notice a change in your team? Did you notice an attitude change, an adjustment? How did that factor in?
I think it elevates the confidence of your group when we're not at full strength, right? But we're at closer to full strength. So I think it just elevates the confidence of everybody. And listen, we talked about it. We've been a very good team when we haven't had the team we thought we were going to have all year, but when we've had the group that's helped us win games, we've been a really good team. We've had really good wins, and I'm not putting all of our losses on injuries by no stretch. We played poorly at times at full strength, but they make a difference, and I think that elevates the confidence of our guys.
Griffin Strom, 11 Warriors. Coach, just given the way that some of your guys' games went down the stretch, and obviously you've critiqued the defense on several occasions, what gave you the confidence that you could go into this game with that type of game plan and the confidence to win a rock fight, like you said, given the fact that the defense hadn't necessarily played up to the standards leading into this game?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I watch every game. But the whole, I think narratives get played on social media and all that is just not really accurate. We just focused on winning the next possession, and we felt like our defense really, we could hang our hat on our defense right now, and we did that. And we've not, when we've struggled closing games, and I answered that question last week, it's because our defense has not been sound enough for long enough.
Spencer Holbrook, Lettermen Row. Chris, you met your guys out at midcourt about 15 minutes ago. Loyola had just called a timeout, and your first message to them was settle down. You guys had just taken like a 10-point lead. How important was it to make sure, I asked you about the roller coaster yesterday, how important was it to make sure that you guys knew not to get too high in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, they're a really good team. They got great spirit to them. They're a legitimate, one of the best teams in the country. There's no question. So I think that the focus needed to be on winning this possession out of the timeout, and that's kind of what I said to them.
Bill Andis from The Athletic. Chris, I think with about 7 minutes left, I looked over to your bench. You guys were defending, and everyone on your bench was standing. Coaches and players are just, maybe as into it as I've seen you guys this season as your guys were on the floor defending. I'm just like, how much of a constant conversation has that been with your team all year to get to the point where you defended as consistently as you did today?
Yeah, Bill, I think it really comes down to ownership with them. And obviously as coaches, we're constantly seeking ways that we can do a better job at putting our guys in position defensively. But I think ultimately the effort piece comes down to ownership on their part, and they were as bought in and as owned as they've been all year for sure on that end. It was the best defensive performance we've really had in a couple years.
Jerry DePaula, Pittsburgh Tribune Review. A moment ago, two of your guys used the same phrase, set the rules, early in the game. Is that a mindset that you guys, want to set the rules early in the game so the team knows what they're up against?
Yeah, it's one of our core tenets that we talk about. It's one of our four things that we talk about. So it's what we try to do every game. We don't always do it as well as we'd like to, but it's what we try to do every game.
Last question for Coach, right here.
Adam Jardy, Columbus Dispatch. Chris, you just mentioned narratives on social media, and obviously there was pressure coming into this game given how the end of the season had gone, and I know you guys had internal confidence that you'd be healthy and that would make a difference, but what were maybe the 48 hours leading into this game like for you, and what did it feel like to come out of it with a win?
For me personally?
Yeah.
Adam, you really have tunnel vision as much as anything during these times. Listen, it's not pleasant when people say negative things about you. And, I never got into coaching, for any type of notoriety, positive press or negative press. So it's always an adjustment for you when you have the criticism. And but it comes with the territory, and I understand that pressure is a privilege, and we certainly as a group felt pressure to perform at a more consistent level. We felt confident we could do it at full strength. I told him, I've been to 7 of these things. My first experience was here. And we played a good Texas team, beat a good Texas team, and then lost in a really close game to Notre Dame. So we've got good memories of a place like this. But it's really tunnel vision right now when it comes to those kind of things. And, now it's moving on to whoever we play next.
Thank you, Coach.